Morning Shine Campus, and welcome to our reading, our book study. We're going to go over mental money trap number 10. Poor people don't understand and utilize the power of principles. So, uh, most people, especially in poorer communities, live life shortening haphazardly, live life short of haphazardly. We seem to think that becoming wealthy has something to do with luck or inheritance. It's got a whole lot more to do with principles than it does with luck. I'm talking about the kind of principles that can make you wealthy beyond measure. Here's what I've discovered: all principles always work for the same for everybody. All principles are microcosms of each other. If I implement the same principles in my finances that a wealthy person does, then I'm going to become wealthy. If I implement the same principles in my finances that a poor person does, then I'm going to be poor. Don't forget the two sentence wealth formula. If you want to be rich, step one is find out what rich people do and do the same thing financially. Step two is find out what poor people do and whatever else you do, and they'll do that. Again, all principles work was the for the same for everybody. Here is a principle for you. Surround yourself with people you want to be like. Because you are like the people who you surround yourself with, your income is not going to exceed that of your closest friends. If your closest friends are broke, then you're going to be broke. If you want to change your income, one of the things you can do is just change your friends. I don't mean you have to get rid of them as friends, but you need to surround yourself with people who are doing better than you are. These people will influence you in a totally different way than the people who are influencing you right now. If you want to become wealthy, get around wealthy people and start studying them. Buy books written by wealthy people and study those books and apply those principles to your life, and you will achieve the same results. The people you surround yourself with will either pull you up or pull you down based on your life on these principles. Base your life on these principles and watch the effect it has on your income. Poor people, so this is money trap number 11. Poor people have a renter's mentality versus the owner's mentality. This is so tragic. The rich and middle class have figured out that buying a house is better than renting. Poor people have not figured this out yet. Poor people will rent a house forever instead of buying one. Paying rent is like flushing down money down the toilet. You might be thinking, I don't have good enough credit to buy a house. Well, get your credit fixed and buy your house and get paid to live there instead of paying to live there. Let's say you live in a house and you pay $1,000 a month in rent and live there for 5 years. In that period, if you've paid $60,000 to live in that house, or you've paid $60,000 to live in that house, when you move, if you're lucky, you might get your $1,000 deposit back. But if you buy that same house, even if it costs you $150,000, you live there for 5 years, you're going to get at least 40%, that's 60,000 of your money back. Plus, the mortgage is going to be paid down, which means that all the money you spent on that house, you will get back in the form of equity and appreciation. Renters have no equity or appreciation. Please stop renting a house. Buy a house. Get some creative financing and buy a house. But don't rent a house your whole life and end up with nothing. Creative financing is buying a house in a non conventional way. Look for an owner of a house who is a motivated seller. Maybe they got a job transfer. Maybe they have to move to take care of a sick relative. When people find themselves in a situation like this, when they have to sell their house now, they will often finance the house for you. You give them a down payment, usually much less than a down payment in a traditional financing situation, and make payments to them, and they pay their mortgage company. Understand this principle. Don't have a renter's mentality. Don't live in an apartment your whole life unless, of course, you happen to own the apartment building and then you get paid to live there. Not only do poor people rent houses, they rent furniture. Please, please, people, if you are broke right now, please stop renting furniture. You end up paying more for the furniture than it was worth and have nothing at the end. It doesn't make any sense. They get you on the monthly payment scam. Don't buy into the monthly payment scam or the weekly payment scam with renting furniture. It will keep you in poverty your whole life. You'll owe nothing. You'll own nothing. You'll never have any equity in anything. If nothing else, go to the Salvation Army and get some decent furniture, used furniture to get you by until you can afford new furniture. All right, chapter 15. So there's 13 practical money traps that can keep you from your fortune. Let's see how far we can get with these. Yeah, we got plenty of time. So, poor people don't protect their minds. We don't protect our minds from people who want to exploit us for money in our minds. You can be free in your body and a slave in your mind. You can be a slave to your appetite. You can be a slave to pleasure. You can be a slave to sleep. You can be a slave to food. You can be a slave to spending money on stuff that you don't need. You can be a slave to so many different things if you don't protect your mind and you let just anyone's influence in there. Be careful what you allow to go into your mind because once it gets in there, you cannot control or change what it does to you. But remember, you can control what gets in there in the first place. Often it is the subtle messages that get into your mind that have a more damaging effect than the overt messages. Poor people don't invest in their greatest asset. I already covered this in the section on the money management principles of millionaires and having the I can educate myself can. It is a huge mistake not to invest in your money in your mind. Remember what Benjamin Franklin said, if you empty your purse into your mind, your mind will fill your purse with gold. I say that whoever puts the most money in your mind, that's who has the most money. That's why most poor people spend most of their money buying stuff that makes them look like they have something that they will never have because they are so busy trying to look like they have it. Money trap number two is we don't invest in our greatest asset, which is our mind. This this is a great time for me to reestablish that I can educate myself. Can make sure make sure you have a can for self-education and make sure you are constantly investing in books, seminars, and home study courses that can make you a fortune. Practical money trap number three: poor people have no financial assets. We only own financial wealth producing liabilities. We only own things that take money out of our financial house. We don't own anything that puts money in our financial house without us working for that money. That is a huge, huge financial money trap. If all you spend money on is the stuff that costs you money after you buy it, you will be broke for the rest of your life, or at least until you change that habit. A life change happened for me when my focus changed from buying wealth reducing liabilities to buying income producing assets. An asset is anything that brings money into your financial house without you working for the money. You have to start building assets. I recommend that you start with your own business. If you don't have a business, get back with the person who recommended this book to you. I'm sure they have a great business opportunity to share with you. If they can't help you get started in a business, they then call my office and we will have one of our business partners call you and assist you in getting started in a business. Avoid the trap of going another day without having something in your income producing asset window. So this is principle number 4, and it's poor people entertain themselves more than they educate themselves. I covered this in several sections of this book already, so I'm not going to go into great detail, but I'm going to say this again in this section on money traps. I believe that if you are financially challenged, that you cannot afford to watch television. My definition of financially challenged is anybody who makes less than $20,000 a month. You cannot afford to watch television because the amount of time spent in entertainment means you've got that many more people putting money into your mind than you are. If you can't make yourself get rid of your television set, then at least don't watch it for a month and use that time you use to spend watching TV on reading and listening to educational CDs. See what happens to you after 30 days. Break the entertainment habit and replace it with the education habit. Watch great things begin to happen in your life. Practical money trap number 5. So poor people are paralyzed by a paycheck. Most people can never become free. You will never find their purpose because they have what I call the golden handcuffs. They make a little bit less money than it takes for them to survive. Their boss pays them enough to keep them there, and they work just hard enough to keep from getting fired. So they are not going forward in life financially. They are too tired when they come home from work to see all the opportunities before them. They never can really become free. They never. They can never drive the car they want or live the lifestyle they want. They can never have the income they want. Instead, they are paralyzed by a paycheck and can't even think about a business opportunity. They can't even think about becoming wealthy because all they know is, I got to go to work for money. They are paralyzed by a paycheck. If you want to avoid this trap, build a business part time while you make a living at your job. When your income from your business is twice the amount you make at your job, you can be free of your golden handcuffs. Practical money trap number six: poor people do everything themselves. We don't leverage our time by outsourcing things that we could pay someone else to do. If your time is worth $1,000 per hour and you spend an hour washing your car, you just blew $1,000. You could have paid someone $10 or $50 to wash your car, and you would have saved at least $950. If you take an hour out of your day to ship out packages, you just blew another $1,000. Don't use your valuable time doing menial tasks. Pay someone else for that. Once you get your business started, start outsourcing tasks as soon as you can. You want to spend more time working on your business, making it grow, than you do working on your business, working in your business. Hire an assistant as soon as you can afford to, which is sooner than you think. Pay someone to cut the grass and clean the house and pick up your dry cleaning. Don't waste any of your valuable time doing trivial, menial tasks. In other words, don't step over $1 to pick up a penny. You will see your income begin to multiply when you apply this principle. Practical money trap number seven: poor people don't have a good money management practices. You're going to have good money management practices from now on because you've got the money management principles of millionaires. Get all you can all you get, and your cans mean you can. I can't emphasize it enough. Go get your cans. And then money trap number eight: poor people operate on a cash basis. I hear people all the time, I don't use banks, I don't write checks, I don't use credit cards, I don't use debit cards, I only use cash. Well, I'm going to tell you something. This is ultimately costing you money because there is so much in the business world that you cannot do with cash. There is so much technology that you cannot take advantage of because you operate on a cash only basis. Open a savings account, open a checking account, get a debit card or get a credit card or both. Stop operating only out of your pocket with money that you keep under your mattress. Don't operate on a cash only basis. This is a practical money trap because we don't want to focus on the details of balancing our checkbook when we write a check and we end up bouncing checks. Then we get mad at the bank when it's really our fault. The checking account isn't the problem. Not managing our money and taking care of our financial business is. Take more responsibility and stop operating on a cash only basis. Practical money trap number nine: poor people don't have a financial mentor or a coach. Folks, I cannot stress strongly enough the value of having a financial mentor who is doing better than you are. Financial mentors stretch your thinking. They challenge you to go to another level. They hold you accountable for things that you won't hold yourself accountable. Find a financial mentor and hire a financial coach because if you don't, you will miss a lot of opportunities. The reason people have coaches, the reason people have mentors is because you can't see the game when you're in the game. All you can see is what you can see. You need someone who is further away from you, who can see the entire playing field, who can see the entire game, who can see what must be done in order to win. The coach, that is what you must have in your financial arena. Just like a basketball player needs a coach on the basketball court, or a football player needs one on the football field. Don't fall into the trap of not having a mentor. And the last money trap that we'll read is the practical money trap number 10. Poor people don't set a good financial example for their children. What a tragedy it is for parents not to be the best financial examples that their children have. I believe one of the reasons our young people go down so many wrong roads is because set such a poor financial example for them. If the only people they see who are making money are people who are doing something illegal, then they will be more tempted to go down that road. Our young people have their dreams, they haven't gotten kicked around yet. They believe that their life is supposed to be good, yet all they hear from their parents and other adults is that the money doesn't grow on trees. What do you think I am? Made of money? What do you think my name is? Rockefeller. We've got to set a good financial example for our children. We've got to be our children's financial heroes so they can know that there's hope for them. Create a legacy for your family. Set a good example for your children. So we'll pick up there when it's time to pick up again. Practical money trap number 11. All right, you guys have a good week. We'll talk to you soon.